Deep in the Pacific Ocean, where sunlight never penetrates, lives an animal that breaks every rule of biology. It grows up to 8 feet long, capped with a crimson plume that sways in the pitch-black water. Yet this massive creature has no mouth, no stomach, and no gut to process food. Worse still, it lives beside volcanic vents, surrounded by a chemical that is poisonous to most animals. How does a giant animal stay alive, grow at record speed, and feed itself without ever eating? To solve this mystery, we have to go back to 1977 near the Galapagos Islands. Geologists lowered the research submersible Alvin 2 miles down into absolute darkness. They were looking for active underwater volcanoes, expecting a barren wasteland of cold volcanic basalt. Instead, Alvin's external floodlights revealed vibrant underwater cities teeming with bizarre creatures. Warm water shimmered above cracks in the volcanic rock, but the real shock was what gathered around it. Surrounding those warm vents were dense forests of giant white tubes with brilliant red tops. Scientists were stunned because nothing like this had ever been seen on our planet before. When researchers brought samples up to the surface, the mystery only deepened. Biologists carefully opened the white protective tubes to examine the soft bodies inside. They searched for a mouth to see how the animal fed, but found nothing. They opened the body looking for a digestive tract, but found no stomach or intestine at all. How could an animal almost 8 feet long build a massive body without a way to eat? In any normal ecosystem, an animal without a mouth or stomach would starve in days, but these tube worms were not just surviving, they were thriving in massive crowded colonies, and their home made their existence even more impossible. The vent water carries hydrogen sulfide, the gas behind the smell of rotten eggs and a poison to most animals. In high doses, hydrogen sulfide blocks the way cells use oxygen. The tube worms settle where sulfide-rich vent water mixes with the cold surrounding seawater. For an ordinary animal, that neighborhood would be extremely dangerous, but for these giant worms, the poison is not merely tolerated, it fuels their entire food supply. Without a steady supply of sulfide, their internal food factory shuts down. So how does a creature take in a dangerous chemical and turn it into life? The first piece of the puzzle lay hidden deep inside the body of the worm. Biologists noticed a dark, spongy organ taking up most of the space inside the body cavity. When they examined this tissue under high power, they found it packed with living bacteria. This organ, called the trophosome, is essentially a massive internal factory of microscopic workers. The worm does not catch its food, it grows its food supply internally. The microscopic partners perform a process known as chemosynthesis. Instead of using sunlight like plants do, these bacteria harvest energy directly from chemical bonds. They use toxic hydrogen sulfide and turn carbon dioxide into organic food. It is a complete food production plant operating in total permanent darkness. But this discovery created a brand new problem for scientists to solve. The bacteria live buried deep inside the worm's body, completely isolated from the open ocean. How do these tiny partners get the raw chemicals they need to generate energy? The answer lies in that striking crimson plume at the top of the tube. That bright red plume acts like a giant set of gills, waving freely in the rushing currents. It sweeps through the water where warm vent fluid mixes safely with cold ocean water. The plume absorbs oxygen from the seawater along with carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. Now the worm faces a delicate balancing act with its own bloodstream. For most animals, carrying oxygen and sulfide together would be a serious problem, but the tube worm's blood contains enormous hemoglobin complexes built for this exact job. These unusual blood proteins carry oxygen and sulfide simultaneously, keeping the reactive sulfide bound during the journey. The blood transports both ingredients without exposing the worm's tissues to the full danger. Red blood vessels then pump these chemical ingredients straight to the internal bacterial factory. Once inside the organ, the bacteria use sulfide as their energy source. In return, the worm receives a steady supply of organic nutrition. Rather than just absorbing leaked nutrients, the worm digests excess bacteria to feed its growing body. It is an incredible biological bargain where both partners depend completely on each other, fueled by this non-stop internal engine. The giant tube worm grows at extraordinary rates under ideal conditions. These worms can grow up to 85 centimeters in a single year. That makes them some of the fastest growing marine invertebrates ever discovered on Earth. They build long, flexible tubes made of chitin to shield their soft bodies from predators. If a crab or fish comes close, the worm retracts its bright red plume in a fraction of a second. This ecosystem showed that a food chain can begin without sunlight as its immediate energy source. At the bottom of the ocean, geology can power an oasis in complete darkness. That realization changed how scientists look for life far beyond our own planet. Deep in our solar system, icy moons like Saturn's Enceladus hide global oceans beneath frozen crusts. In 2005, the Cassini spacecraft discovered plumes of water ice erupting from fractures in Enceladus's surface. Later analysis found organic compounds and evidence consistent with hydrothermal activity beneath its frozen crust. We have not discovered alien organisms swimming in those distant extraterrestrial waters. But Earth's giant tube worms show us that life can exploit places once dismissed as impossible. Their food chain begins with water, volcanic chemistry, and microbes working in complete darkness. Sunlight never reaches them, yet an entire oasis rises around the vents. On another ocean world, similar chemistry might create an opportunity for life, though we do not yet know if it has what other impossible creatures are waiting for us in the deep, silent dark.